should be connected in right now. Okay, and we're live. So, and just hold on the on all this, but I'm gonna start posting the links. And oh god, Twitter's
All
gonna be a
right.
nightmare.
You think that's gonna invite a lot of people in?
Who knows? We'll just have to see. Wait and see. Let's see. Alrighty, sent that. And now to Discord.
All right, here we go, huh?
Yep. Let's see. Got that done, and now.
I have to save this and put it in what do you call it? Not Adele's, the other Discord.
Rudolph's?
Say again?
What, in Rudolph's?
No, not Rudolph's. I can't think. Oh god, my brain. Engpools.
Oh, And now lastly, Reddit, because why not?
I don't understand why you keep on trying with those people.
I mean, it's good to have multiple perspectives, even though one of the perspectives hates you with all their heart, soul, and mind.
Fair enough. Still, don't get mad when they come to get. Still, don't get mad when they inevitably delete your thing.
Oh no, it's not. I don't get mad at them. I just get fucking frustrated whenever it comes to writing or having to defend my position on like why I write my characters with such tragic backgrounds.
So I know people call your characters edgy, but like to be fair, I've read Berserk, and trust me when I tell you, your sad character backstories are nothing compared to Guts' backstory from Berserk.
I bet they even haven't been cultured enough yet.
One of the most well-written, edgy characters. A lot of people think edgy is like bad or poorly written for whatever reason.
Yeah, like I mean, you can like be edgy and still be a good character. Like I mean, for example, Shadow before Sega fucked him up.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you. I mean, I used to
Mm.
be a Sonic fan. I just have been out of it for like years.
You haven't missed much, son. You haven't missed much.
Sega trying to find itself with Sonic. I think the movie was actually a good step forward, as well as Sonic
Yeah.
Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now they just have to get modern Sonic right, and they can stop by stop putting classic Sonic into everything. Like seriously, was classic Sonic even needed in Sonic Forces? No, he wasn't.
Wait, classes that is in like the brutish, the speedrunners, and and like what, the traditional warriors?
What? No, no, no. Classic Sonic, like like from the Genesis game.
Oh, oh, I see. All right, well,
Yeah,
now that now that I have finally been done finishing with sending all the links to everywhere that I'm in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rwby Fap podcast. I am your host, the Anime Guy, and together with one of my friends and a new join to the server, we shall discuss the Rwby World of Remnants. Because why not? There's 16 of them. Might as well crack through them with critique. So, why don't you fellows introduce yourselves, especially you, new guy?
Jessica can go first.
alright.
Get
Hey
my
guys, it's
stuff
me,
together.
just a fan again. I hope you're not getting tired of me because I'm going to be in every single one of these until the end of.
And this is Kush Rada. Yes. Looking forward to dissecting some of the World of Remnants. Was a huge fan of them when they were first coming out, but some less than others.
Alright.
All right.
Let's dive into what is the World of Remnant. Probably for me, easily the worst thing RT has ever done. Well, aside
it's
from
not-
butcher the whole storyline, but eh.
well, I mean, they're not the worst things to come out. I mean, they do provide some basic information, but it's still too broad to even fit into the show that's even whatever was broadly been in the show. Or these are broad, but here's the problem. The writers treat them as if they're not canon, despite the fact that they're the ones who wrote them.
Yeah, like here's my problem because like I've kind of always hated the World of Remnant ever since they first came out because this is literally this is basically giving the audience a glossary of what's important before they walk into the theater. Like this isn't how storytelling should be done. It should be this, like everything that is in the World of Remnant videos, aside from maybe the Schnee Dust Company, and that's only because, you know, Beacon isn't exactly a business school, it's a school for huntsmen and huntresses. Like, if with the exception of that, every single one of these videos should be incorporated into the main show. Because, do you want to know, and you want to take a guess why? You're not? Okay. Because
No.
Beacon is a school. Like, they can literally get away with showing lectures like this. Like, literally, all you had to do was have Port or Oobleck or Professor Peach or Ozpin, Glinda, hell, one of the teachers just have, like, a slideshow or do a lecture on one of these subjects. You know? Like, you didn't have to have, like, separate videos. These should have been in during the classroom. Like, not in separate videos that probably 90% of your casual audience will miss.
Yeah, and I agree.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry for getting a little angry, a little ranty there. It's just, fuck these videos. I fucking hate them with a passion. Everyone, if I get a little bit ranty, I do apologize, but I really hate these videos with a passion. If you like it, that's fine. But this is 101 on how you not do exposition in your shows.
So, for Dust specifically, as a video, one thing I would have really liked for them to do with it, since the show kind of went into Dust in season 1 or volume 1, but I would have loved a flashback from Ruby or even Yang's perspective from their time in Signal Academy, because that was before Beacon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably, that's when they would have learned about Dust, so it would have been nice to see as, let's say, Ruby or Yang's working on their weapons at home or in the classroom, how it's incorporated into fighting Grimm or incorporated with weapon designs. It would have been a good opportunity to flesh out the characters, the weapons, the schools, and, fighting Grimm. Yeah, it's kind of a missed opportunity, especially since Dust hasn't really been explored recently.
Yeah. Like, the sad thing is that, like, there are actual shows that does this type of thing. So, for example, My Hero Academia, for example. Like, My Hero Academia is set in a school, Like every good anime, it's set in a school. And the kids, they actually learn shit there. So, like, and not just like, in a classroom, they also train, they also, like, develop techniques outside of the classroom, they learn stuff. So, for example, in the Overhaul arc, like, Izuku, like, when he first meets Eri, it's essentially him learning that always diving in headfirst into gonna always help. And, like, yeah, it might help sometimes, like it did with the Hero Killer arc, but for the most part, Izuku has to sometimes take the smarter route, and that may include having to leave someone behind. Which, while heartbreaking, it's kind of a wake-up call for Izuku. And it further motivates him into wanting to rescue Eri. Especially after you hear her very, very tragic backstory, and you kind of just want Chisaki to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
by the way, but before we go on to the video, we have some questions here.
Oh, really?
So Sonic 10 says, "Hey guys, how's it going? I'm doing well. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I'm mostly going on, how many cups of coffee did I have? About 5 cups of coffee."
Yes. I rarely drink coffee, so that's quite a number.
My brother kept me up all night while he was playing games and singing NSYNC while drunk, okay? Give me some credit. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you live off the shit like my mom. And I'm serious too. Like, she literally has a 2-gallon bag of coffee grinds from Black Rifle Coffee Company.
And I would like to meet your mother because she seems to have a very good taste. Besides, I'm Colombian. I was, like, literally be breed. Well, that and cocaine.
Please don't tell me you do that leaves from the cocoa plant. That would be very problematic.
No, I said my country breeds coffee and cocaine, not that I do. Racist.
But I'm not racist. I literally have you on the stream.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Anyways. Okay, so, another thing we have to point out is that we actually already did a review, or a critique/review of the Dust, but we're just gonna do like an updated version of that in this video, but we're also going to be doing the kingdoms. We're gonna be doing, we'll then do, and then we'll just do like 2 episodes each podcast until we hit the 16 mark, and see if whether or not they change anything or they just kept them the same, and not credit Vic as the voice actor, because some of the later ones has him as Crow. I mean, like, for the love of God, like, why didn't they just change the change the voiceovers? You don't even have to change the script since they're that lazy. Just change the voices and have the guy record. Like, good God.
I'm actually surprised they kept the audio the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, my personal belief to change, they were gonna put, like, Vic's new voice actor in, but then they got for a pay raise, and they were like, shit, we don't have the money for that.
Oh, that was actually the issue? It was a pay problem?
That's just...
Oh, okay. I can see that, though.
I'll do it, but I want a fucking pay rise, and then, because I'm on your shit show, and they're like, shit, we can't afford him. So, what do? Just make it the same video, but put in Vic's. But I thought, put in Vic's voiceover, damn it, we don't have enough money, ha ha ha.
And these guys are raging socialists online, except for Joel. Like, as far as I know, he's probably, him and Vic were the only conservatives a part of the company. And they're both fired.
Oh, wait, Vic's a conservative?
Huh?
Vic's a conservative?
Yeah, he voted for Trump. He likes very little regulations when it comes to capitalism. He's also very much a vocal Christian and doesn't mind talking about it if the time allows him to, and or if people ask.
I knew he was a Christian. Didn't know that he was a conservative.
I mean, it's kind of...
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would explain what he despised.
I mean, it does kind of explain a lot, like, why a lot of people are leaving, either of their own volition or getting fired. It's because they don't agree with the status quo of the company. And so, like, why do you think they had all those like whatchamacallits when it comes to reviewing the company without having to, say who you really are? Glassdoor reviews?
Reviews?
Yeah, Glassdoor reviews.
Like,
I bet they just ripped,
I
bet they just ripped whoever's email it is from the server, and then, like, okay, we know it's these guys' email because it's their business emails. Alright, guys, sorry, but you're gonna have to be let go because you don't agree with us. What the fuck, company? Anyways, shall we introduce ourselves to this cancer? Or actually, wait, I think we have a couple of more things from Sonic, from the Sonic Johnson 10. I've actually seen something similar to War of Remnant.
I think he's talking to someone in his house.
Oh. Sure? Because it looks like it was directed towards us. But yeah, like, other shows and media have done it better than Rwby. Like, they've always been, like, such a copy-paste nowadays. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're basically, like, stealing shit, essentially. Like, like, stuff from the My Hero Academia opening. You have, like, that scene where Ironwood's arm is purple, which, okay, maybe it's just because I'm too much of a My Hero Academia fangirl, but it looks very similar to Deku in Season 1 and 2, where he couldn't control his power, and his arm was purple.
Oh yeah, it isn't... Like, that's... Like, when he can't control his power because it's rather still new to his body turns purple whenever he uses a specific body part for a specific slam.
Yeah, because he's because, like, when he does... Yeah, because, like, at the beginning, he's basically breaking all the bones in his body, essentially. I'm sorry, not all the bones in his body, like, all the bones in that area where he's using his power. It's not until, I think, halfway through season... like, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, but I think it's, like, not until halfway into season 2 where he actually starts to get a hold of his ability.
I haven't watched My Hero Academia much. I'm sorry, I'm just barely getting into buying the mangas. But,
Oh, it's super good. Like, it's really, really good.
It's
I mean, like,
it's
I
really
know.
good. I need to
Yeah, like,
rewatch season 3.
yeah, yeah, I'm caught up on the latest chapter in the manga, and holy shit, things are about to go down. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil any anime onlys or those who haven't read the manga yet.
All right, let's get this cancer show over with.
Let's get this torture over with.
Dust. By definition, it is a naturally occurring energy propellant that can be triggered by the aura of humans and faunas. But in reality, it is much, much more. Found in 4 basic forms, dust can be combined, both artificially and naturally, to form new, stronger types, each with unique properties.
Quick question: does anyone knows how hard light dust is? Because, like seriously,
I
how?
think it was kind of touched. I think it's the same dust that Velvet uses like for her weapon in volume 3. And then Cordovin said something about Atlas being the father of hard light dust, but no, I don't really know what it is. Like from what I can tell, it seems to be something similar to like a physical hologram or something. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. Does anyone in the chat know?
Well, here's the thing about hard light. It's just like a more solidified version of plasma, if in other sci-fi media. So, what I'm wondering is, okay, how is that actually a dust? Like, if they were supposed to store it as some sort of ammunition or dust crystal, how does it do that? Because hard light or plasma is what would be expended after use. From
I
like,
don't
Imagined
know.
it to
You'll
be
have to ask Miles
like
and Harry.
what do you call it? Like energy shield similar to like Halo.
yeah, Halo used hard light shields with the Forerunner tech.
Yeah. So I get how it worked for the mech that was in volume what was it 6. I get how it protected that. I'm unsure of how Velvet's weapon can mold it into whatever she wants. That's kind of lost on me, but I mean, our weapon is just we don't get how that's shaped and maintains form.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's because they say that they can make synthetic dust by splicing and mixing other types. So Atlas probably has some very specific combination. I'm just surprised that they never really used that with any of Penny's weapons.
Oh yeah, they're just regular like lasers, a steady stream
Yeah.
of plasma.
Yeah, I forget. I know for Penny's lasers, I think it's air dust combined with something else. But I have no idea the combination that would make hard light.
Because,
Also,
like,
I, for whatever reason, cannot see the video progressing.
oh, that's because I have it paused.
So even though she's been talking, it's still at 0 for me. Just letting you know.
That's weird.
The video seems. Yeah, it's also on mine for the stream as well. Sorry, on mine for my end. On the stream, it seems fine though.
Yeah.
Is everything fine on the stream for you guys? Just a quick question.
All I got was like skipped frames, but that shouldn't have really happened, or that shouldn't like knock out voices. And even still, I just have it currently paused, and I
I can hear it just fine. I just don't see any of the dust that she's talking about.
that. Oh, there must be a lot of lag between the recording this on live and the actual stream itself. Ah, God's sake, I hate, like, can I just say I hate technology sometimes, or quite a lot?
Yeah, but if it
It is
wasn't
our
for
greatest
technology,
bane.
we would. It's our greatest helper and our greatest pain in the.
Outside of, human nature.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy said that like I can hear everything just fine. The video might be lagging a bit.
Okay.
Okay. So
Alright.
aside from lag on the live stream, everyone is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. I hate... Like, that's what I've noticed a lot whenever I played something while we were discussing stuff in the previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's just continue.
Properties. Since its discovery, man has concocted a multitude of ways in which to harness the powers of these mysterious crystals. From airships to androids, dust has made its way into practically every facet of technology. Some prefer to use dust in its raw form, elegant yet destructive. Those who choose to wield dust must possess a certain level of discipline to ensure.
How do they do that? I'm genuinely curious. Like, does it...
I honestly have no idea.
One of the problems with dust and magic is, like, they say that dust is primarily used in an explosive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how does one control it like, let's say, Glinda did in Volume 1, Episode 1, where she made dust storms? Like, how does one do that with ammunition and not consider it magic?
Or
I don't know.
How could someone who does not know much about dust not see of it as magic rather than just simply Glinda using dust?
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't really a problem until, what was it, Volume 5? When we got the infamous "there's no such thing as magic" line. Yeah.
Also, you gotta love how they gave it to the one character whose semblance is probably the most magic-like out of everyone.
To the freaking necromancer. Like, she can summon the souls of creatures that do not have souls.
Yeah.
Which, again, there was no problem with her summoning Grimm until you realize that I think the Grimm World of Remnant said that they don't have souls.
Makes so much more sense if, like, I don't know, maybe Weiss could, like, if, like, Weiss's summoning powers was something like Kurome's sword from Akame ga Kill. Because, in case you haven't watched Akame ga Kill, Kurome's swords can essentially alive the dead, but they're soulless, essentially. And in the manga, one of the things, that she does is that, like, her sword, she can always have, like, I think it's like 5 dead always 5 dead souls that she can always have. And all 5 of those happen to be old teammates. So, and all 4 of those happen to be old teammates. So then the last one, when he dies, he basically, essentially, like, controls his corpse, essentially. And one of them is like, let him rest in peace, let him, like, stay dead. And Kurome, like, she can't understand why everyone is so, why the new guy is so angry at this. And he's like, you're essentially desecrating a corpse, essentially. Desecrating the corpse of your dead. Yeah, like, it could have been something like that, but no.
Anyways, Yeah, let's continue.
Sure that their resulting powers do not break free from their control. Dust ammunition serves as a more practical application in today's modern society. With the technological advancements in weapon design, warriors need simply choose the right cartridge for the job and pull the trigger.
Quick question. If later on in this video it states that one needs aura to use dust, how is that even possible given the fact that, oh, I don't know, dust being a highly volatile explosive somehow needing aura to activate it when that's not how a gun's supposed to work?
You know, we all have the mechs that run off of dust and machinery that runs off of dust, and they don't have aura.
The more we want to know,
I
the more
honestly
we
have
never
no
get
idea.
answers.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
That's-
I mean, there's so many problems with dust, just the way it's implemented. At least from the World of Remnants lore that it gives us, it was fine when it was just, you know, a mysterious mineral that had elemental properties. But once you say it needs aura to work, and we see countless instances where that's not the case, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And another,
Ah,
yeah, and another thing
with
is like,
gone.
another thing is like, I'm still shocked that this is still somehow canon yet not. Because, you know, everything gets canon until it's not. Okay, then, so what is canon in this particular video? Is it the fact that you need aura in order to control dust? If so, then how come all this machinery and how do firearms work then, if they don't have gunpowder to use instead of dust? Because apparently dust needs aura in order to even be activated.
I can kind of understand how firearms would work, because when huntsmen use their weapons, they extend their aura to their weapons.
How does that
It's
even
how
work?
they become like. I know, but that's what they said. They said their weapons become an extension of themselves because aura protects clothing and it protects their weapon. So I could see how aura goes into covers a gun to some degree, and you could use the gun. I don't understand how mechs can use aura, since there's no person attached to them.
Like, I think it would make more sense if, like, mechs were, like, kind of powered by the aura of the person, like, controlling it. You know, I think that would...
the pilot in mech.
Yeah, so, like... Yeah, so, like, you know, in... yeah, where it's like
You're
the
going in and out, Justa.
Okay, so remember Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
like I kind of like into like the mechs with something like that, where it's like, you know, the mechs can follow like the aura signature or movement of the person. Like that would make a little more.
It'd be like almost like a neural network, with the pilot being, a catalyst to make the weaponry work.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be cool, and it would actually show like a lot of they could do a lot with it. Like, let's say a pilot has their aura broken because they're directly attacked in a mech. So now they can pilot it, but they can't use its weapons. It would have been an interesting plot point, especially in the Cordovan fight.
Mm-hmm. But no, we have to have disappointment always from RT.
Well, not only that, a lot of shit still doesn't make any sense. And I guess
Yeah,
that's
no, I'm
somehow,
just like...
and I guess that's somehow why Ruby's 50 caliber BMG sniper rifle keeps surviving every hit, despite the fact when your aura gets broken, why on Earth, or like, so like you know how Kush said that apparently the way it works is that aura is an extension that even goes into the weapons for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
We see that in Volume 4 with Rwby versus Tyrion to a degree.
I don't think that's how that worked. Do enlighten me?
Well, you know when Tyrion was specifically targeting Rwby and he was slowly breaking her aura?
Yeah.
Like, she was defending with her sniper rifle, Crescent Rose, and we could see the attacks hitting Crescent Rose, also disrupting her wider aura on her body, at the point when he broke it.
Oh, that is so fucking retarded.
I know, but that's one of the few things that they established and actually followed through with, for the most part.
Like, you know what would be cool?
I'll be right back.
Sure. Like, you know what would be cool if there was, like, when you create your weapon or when you, like, choose your weapon, you put a little bit of your aura inside of it, you know? So it's kind of like this ceremony where it's like, you know, they say some kind of, poem or chant or whatever, and they put a little bit of the aura into the weapon or something like that. So then they can use dust. And you can have it be like this big ceremonial thing that every huntsman and huntress have to go through because, you know, like, you know, there will only be one constant thing in their lives and that will now be their weapon, essentially.
Yeah.
Or something like that, you know. Like I'm like, you know, I'm just spitballing ideas here, you know. But I think we have a few comments in the chat. Sonic Johnson, he says, I think what they're trying to say is that dust can either be ignited or it can be activated by aura. So it has two conditions of activation, I think. What do you think, Anime?
I mean, it makes sense, but I still find it retarded. Like, why not just stick with one form of activation and stick with it so that way you don't have this type of mess in the first place?
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they just stuck with, like, one form of activation. So it's like, you know, it's just like you can control it with your aura, you know? I think that would have made, like, more sense.
So then does aura go into the bullet too? Because the bullet is just a solid projectile. The dust is what just gives it its magical element. Because the powder itself is just what propels the bullet forward. So then how does the actual bullet gain the elemental properties then?
Who knows? He replied, he says, not really retarded, it's just not well explained or planned out. Aura really needs a solid foundation as a power system. However, they try and retcon stuff about it, making it harder to understand. Yeah, 100%. 100%, Johnson. Like,
oh, yeah.
Bloody hell, it's so frustrating because if there's one thing I kind of don't like in media is like the Iron Maiden trope, where it's like, oh, you know, they can survive a shit ton of damage, but this one stab to the thigh or something, oh no, that manages to get them down, you know? And you see the guy like take like 1,000 slashes or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like the only time I've kind of like looked the other way with that is with Bond in the Seven Deadly Sins, and that's only because, well, he's literally fucking immortal, you know? And so, like, when aura was introduced as, like, basically what is a health bar, like, or basically a protective shield, like, you know, it makes sense.
Oh. Halo. And
yeah, like...
media. And what you've done, you're pretty much vulnerable.
Well, yeah, but it's like, it kind of allows me to look the other way with the whole, oh, Iron Maiden trope, if you get what I mean. Because it's like, because it's like, okay, they can like little down the aura, and then once that aura is broken, then they can really be hurt. You know, like, I've always kind of liked that about aura, but like Johnson says, it needs a solid foundation. It desperately needs that.
I think Ruby as a whole just needs that in general.
Yeah, like, I think the only way to save Ruby now is to just reboot it completely. Like, no ifs, no buts, no, but, like, no nothing. It's just, it needs a hard reboot. Like, you have to completely reboot everything, completely, just rework everything in it, because basically it's gotten to the point of no return at this point.
Pretty much.
Like, yeah, like, you could have, like, it could have, like, I think it could have been saved in Volume 5, and maybe even in Volume 6. But after Volume 6, the damage is done, you know?
Yeah.
It's just sad, you know? It's kind of sad how far Ruby has fallen, in a way.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
Could-
I don't mind if something has a two conditions of activation. I just want it explained better and not look retarded on execution. Otherwise, I'm gonna say it looks retarded.
In the Trails series. Oh, looks like one of our viewers gave us an example of a better form of aura. So, for example, in Trails of series, orbital energy is generated through a device Arcus. Oh, I thought it said. Oh, for a minute, I thought it said Arcos. I was about to say, wait, Jean and Pira are in another series that can allow people to use magic. They also have quartz that give them different effects and abilities. I don't know in the Trails of series, so I can't comment on whether or not it does that well. But from what I can read, at least, you know, it seems like a much better form of aura, essentially, aura and dust.
Yeah.
Should we continue, or should we wait for Kush to come back? What do you think? I used in everyday living object and started a industrial revolution. Wow, dust actually affecting a world. That's never happened in Ruby.
I mean, hell, in Legend of Korra, firebenders who could do the whatchamacallit?
Lightning generation.
Yeah, they use them as power generators. Pay them good
Yeah,
money,
which
too.
is it's a little messed up when you think about it, because they're literal power generators. But you know, Korra, at least they're getting paid for it, right?
Yeah, I will bitch you more about Korra being an inferior series Avatar, but at least there is still some aspect of deeper world building that you could see. I just don't like how the story went.
Yeah, the story in Korra really does suck ass.
But the subtle world building,
literally, all you had.
But the subtle world building was
literally,
excellent.
Yeah, literally, all they had to do was do the Avatar's journey just without the 100-Year War, and you would have been fine, you know.
Yeah.
That's literally all they had to do, but no, we had to make a Korra so OP and so much better than Avatar A.
Yeah. Anyways, you back, Kush?
Nope, he ain't.
Alright.
Should we ask the chat if we should continue, or?
Let's just get to you. I mean...
Alright.
While this has become the standard method of use, it is not uncommon to find individuals still practicing more archaic forms of dust manipulation, such as weaving it into clothing.
Have we only ever seen Cinder weave dust into clothing once and only once for one time in one volume? Because it seems like it was
and volume
deliberately
3
left out.
during the during episode. Yeah, like again, how is hey Kush, we're at the part where dust is sewn into clothing, but like how is that like any different from like maiden match? Because like because like we see Cinder like use the dust in her clothing much like in the flashback when she doesn't have the maiden powers. Like we literally see her like basically using
Fire dust.
the sand in the fire dust to basically heat up the sand in the area and create it into glass, you know?
Yes. So, yeah. I mean, they retconned her to be a maiden then, so I assume the idea was that was just normal weaving dust into your clothes to gain extra abilities. I'm kind of sad we don't see more of that. I assume because dust is flammable and explosive, the person's aura would prevent their clothes from exploding should it be attacked.
Or at the very least, like, the person like who's using dust in like clothes dust, like they have to be exceptionally skilled at least.
Exceptionally skilled in discipline, I would say.
Yeah, like, and it could have like provided something for like, Cinder, you know, because like it could show us that like she's skilled enough to use clothes dust, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of surprised that like Rwby doesn't say. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Rwby doesn't like immediately shout out to, "Oh, she used clothes dust. Like, she must be super skilled or something."
I mean, I still don't know how Rwby knew that was her. I know later on when they see like the what is it in Volume 7 when Rwby sees the
Black chess piece.
glass chess piece, it's like, oh, Cinder. But it's like, how do you know again? I mean, she did have the chess piece played during the Vital Festival, so I assume that's how Rwby knew. But like, even though Rwby fought her in the tower when she was in her dust getup, she didn't recognize her then, especially since she met her as a student.
Yeah, and even though she was like the most recognizable like person ever.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't even have a ski mask, for fuck's sake. She literally had the incredible mask that somehow manages to change her identity.
I have to drop. I apologize. There's a medical issue over here.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Alright.
I highly doubt it.
Okay, so...
Yeah, we have another person in the chat say, weaving dust into clothing, an underused OP idea. Think about it. Dust armor, mass-produced.
Oh,
Holy
better yet, exo armor with a dust outer coating. So like,
shit, that would be sick.
Like, remember how in Halo and Call of Duty Advanced and Future Warfare they have exosuits with armor panelings? Like, why not equip the entire military with at least inexpensive frames and then just slap armor all over them? Like, in usable areas. Like, God. Oh, the military is such a joke.
I think yeah, but at least they have a fucking military. From what we can see, Mistral, Veil, and Vacuo, they have no military at all. At least Atlas was smart enough to get one.
Or to act, well, actually, they were told to demilitarize, but they
were like,
kept it.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Should continue.
Yeah, we should. We still have like another 4 minutes of torture, and I wonder how long this stream is anyway.
Or even fusing it directly with their own bodies.
Hazel, obviously. Just one question:
Yep.
if dust is in your bloodstream and you so happen to get attacked by aura, like say I don't know Weiss's cream wasp, why in God's name did his body not immediately explode from an extra push of aura going into his body from being stabbed from the back, which should have paralyzed him and into his own gut, thus allowing all his intestines to fall out?
I
that would have been a large ass hole.
I don't know. Maybe it's because RT still thinks Rwby is kid friendly, despite the fact in Volume 3 they literally had warnings before some episodes where it was like, this is not suitable for kids.
Bull fucking shit. The Clone Wars was darker than this, and Cartoon Network had an age limitation of PG, and they still showed the horrors in the fog of war much better than this show.
Yeah, it's just. It's like they want Rwby to be a kids show, but at the same time they're doing shit that other kids shows have done better.
I mean, hell, like here's another thing: if they wanted it to be kid friendly, why on earth is there LGBT representation in a kids show? That's something that's Chujo's Media avoids at all costs, especially when they get hundreds of thousands and millions of letters from parents. Like, why are you showing this shit to our children when we the actual parents should be teaching them this shit? Like when they are of age.
I don't know. And then you have it's like, oh, we're a kids show, but literally in Volume 3 they show a girl literally getting dived to death, and then you have another. Yeah, and then you have her killer being. Well, this was before I'm going to use them. Basically, getting Voldemorted. Like, it's like RT. It's like I think even RT is confused about what demographic it wants to portray Rwby as in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, it's a kids show, but then they do all this shit. And it's like, is it a kids show or is it not a kids show? Like, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
God, it's like, whenever you go into Rwby, it's just yeah. It's like, I could be watching NXT in your house for right now. And I'd have more fun watching that than Rwby. Oh, did someone join us?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Mr. DJ! You're here!
What's up? Hey, everybody. I'm kind of sick. Hey.
Hey. We're looking at the World of Remnant. We're going to be looking at World of Remnant Dust and World of Remnant Kingdoms.
Oh, incomplete with the revamped thumbnails. How innovative, Rooster Teeth. How innovative. What?
It's like they're reselling all their old shit.
Why are they doing this? Like, what's the point? Like, we already know all this. Why do they have to revamp?
It's basically the same thing as the old one. It's like how Christians sell religion. It's like, we have Christ and we have to portray them as if they're different people. They're the same thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
At least Hindus have variety and shit.
Yeah. We have more Hindu gods than we have more Hindu gods and like as many as Bollywood superstars. Oh.
By the way, apologies to any Christians in the chat.
Anyway,
but is this live? Are you live streaming this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that's awesome.
We have one person from the chat asked saying, "I'd like to see the Aesops and Ruby utilize that."
Three
I could
people from
see-
the chat, but one is actually commenting.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So I'd like to see the Aesops or Ruby utilize that. I could see Ruby using her semblance, and instead of just roses, it's spiral, fire, lightning, whirlwind, and ice storm. Like, could you imagine Ruby
imagine
wearing
if
light
it's-
armor doing that stuff?
Oh, imagine it's like the roses are on fire. Holy shit!
oh yeah.
I've
yeah.
just been inspired.
Same.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Sonic Johnson 10. I'm definitely going to patent that for my graphic novel.
Yeah. But make sure you give them credit. We don't want to be RT. We don't want to be like RT with their artists and shit.
Oh yeah, that entire debacle with their freaking what was it called again? An art contest.
Contest.
Oh,
It's not an art contest. That is art theft disguised as an art contest.
Legally,
did you
it's
guys hear?
not. Morally, it
Oh.
is.
Did you guys hear about the new terms that came out according to Draco?
Oh, what is it?
Nope. What is it?
So apparently, let me just get that up. They're saying that that you will have the rights to it. Apparently,
Oh, so
and-
now they're saying they have the rights to it.
the artists will give me a second. I've seen it somewhere. Just bear with me for a second.
Ruby.
Okay, so will Rooster Teeth earn the intellectual rights to our work by submitting the artwork to their content? You are granting permission for Rooster Teeth to potentially use your art, but you will maintain sole ownership of the intellectual properties of your submission and be credited if used. And what if I don't get picked? Even without being chosen as the winner or a top 5 finalist, your art, along with your name, website, and social media handle, should you enter them with your submission, may be displayed in our featured submission sections.
So in other
Maybe
words,
displayed or will be displayed.
essentially, it's still the same thing, but they're gonna get credited now. They're just not gonna pay you still.
Yeah.
And
Still,
it just gets worse.
still shitty conditions. If I'm gonna do this contest and if I win, I want to get at least £500 minimum.
In the current state of Ruby, I mean, come on, like, do we would you really want to enter this contest in the current state of Rooster Teeth?
If I was getting paid, maybe. Hey, I'm out of the job right now. Like with how things are going, my job is basically not giving out jobs right now.
Yeah.
At least you still have one.
Thanks, Coach. Oh yeah, true.
So where we're at right now with the Dust episode?
Oh, if using dust into your body, aka we just found out Hazel's origins.
Right, yeah. Wait, I thought Hazel's origins was a long lost sister. Oh, wait, not long lost sister. I mean, the sister passed away, and ta-da! He's now turned into
Like,
incredible.
unless that sister turns out to be like a maiden or something. So like she was a maiden and she, or something where it's like, oh, you know, she became a maiden because, you know, she wanted to help the world, but Ozpin didn't tell her the whole truth. Then it's like, okay,
See,
I can sort of see it.
Yeah, see, I would that would be interesting if that sister was the maiden and Ozpin initially trained her, but the maiden went, nah, screw you. Joins Raven.
Imagine if like I kind of imagined that like maybe she's not actually dead, but because she's a maiden, she has to pretend she's dead essentially.
Yeah, and then Raven took her powers and it is actually dead kind of thing. Like, that was awesome, but and then Raven goes, Ozpin killed your sister. I just happened to have her powers.
It's like Salem told me the truth. She said Ozpin killed her. No, Hazel. I killed your sister.
It's not true. It's impossible.
Oh no, even better, even better, Event Horizon scream. Oh!
And then it's like, what am I fighting? Oh.
See, everyone. See, here's the funny thing with Hazel. See, here's the funny thing with Hazel. Hazel to be this conflicted character. He beginning didn't Salem's team. He's and stuff, but no, he became the incredible.
Yeah, like, you know, although, like, but, like, the way Archie seemed like the most real and ultimately on the team. Because, like, when he first sees Oscar, he's not, like, maniacally, like, laughing, like, oh, I'm gonna take the kid's bear, like, teddy bear or something. No, he actually helps Oscar out.
Yeah.
And basically gives Oscar some pretty okay advice. And,
Even
you
though
know,
he
and so
shouldn't,
it's like...
because he's stealing a 14-year-old's body.
No, I meant
Reminds me.
Hazel was...
Remember when
No, I mean, Hazel... No, wait, Anime. I meant Hazel was giving Oscar good advice. Oscar was giving... Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
remember
I
when,
confused you.
oh, guys, do you remember that one particular video from one of Funimation's employees and posted it? Like, remember when, apparently, Shin, or whoever the hell that one guy was who plays as Goku? Remember when he was mocking Vic and saying, like, oh, I like touching the small little boys because I like playing as the small little boys because I like to touch them and shit. Osmond is that, but to a greater extent of the plot because, you know, he can now control physically a little boy.
Oh.
And they call Vic the pedophile. It's like, I don't really mind the whole reincarnation thing, but it should have been like Avatar. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it should have been like Avatar's reincarnation, where it's like when Ozpin dies, a new Ozpin is born with his own personality and everything. And while like that Ozpin can like talk to the past, like to his past, like they they cannot technically take control of his body unless they're like in the Avatar state.
Speaking of Ozpin and Avatar, I went on Twitter the other day and I saw the funniest thing on about that. Someone made a Last Airbender video complete with instead of like earth, fire, and wind, air, and water, someone's like creation, destruction, choice. And all the other and the other one, and someone did long ago. The four nations decide to live together until Salem decide to attack the god of darkness. Only the All-Star can defeat Salem. You're like,
Oh, you
Jesus
can send us
Christ.
that video after this stream.
I just like, sorry, too big. You're like, fuck.
Anyways, let's get to you.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry guys on the stream that we're going.
Despite working, fighting, and even turning a profit with it, humanity has still yet to understand how dust came to be. And more importantly,
What?
how they can live
What
with
the
dust
dickens?
will completely change the world of Remnant.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, you gotta
it's the
love
same
how, like,
video, no
we've
changes,
studied
they just
this-
up the graphics.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You gotta love how they're like, we've studied this thing for years. What have you discovered? Nothing. It's like, okay, it's like, I don't really mind the origin of dust kind of being so mysterious, because, okay, in the world today, like, we still don't understand, you know? Like, we still don't understand, like, the universe as a whole.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind that element of mystery if they were doing something similar to like Doctor Who and stuff. But this, yeah, nah.
Oh, good grief.
Yada yada does it. Oh, wait, I'm a woman. That means I should be like Doreen. Yada yada dawa.
Alright, what's next? What's
I
next on
love
this?
JoJo. It always
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me
So-
happy.
After seeing this and knowing that it's just the same video, just a different thumbnail. Like,
See, I like the old thumbnails. The old thumbnails were cool. Now it's just wah, wah.
It's just like meh, meh 1, meh 2, meh 3.
It's like we're selling old words and labeling them as new.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like a store that says it's not a charity shop when it is a charity shop because it tries to sell like things that people don't want to make a profit, but refuses to admit that it's a charity shop, even though by all accounts it is a charity shop. I hope there's someone from London who understood that reference.
but something that I just honestly don't get is like, okay, so they can apparently weave it into clothing. They can put it in special rounds. So then, what were they using to kill each other with when they didn't have dust, other than like what
Swords
caused
and
people to make
swords.
like what caused people to make guns? Like, how did that even happen? How did they know that dust can be used in a powdered form to make a projectile launched from a barrel?
Oh, you mean the shells?
Well, there has always been a case of a crazy scientist doing shit that no one thought about. You know? So yeah, it could have been like someone was just maybe it was like a forbidden thing to like use so unstable, and then someone's like, fuck, use powdered dust even though it's totally unstable, and then was able to create, and then thought, what if I put gun with dust? Dun dun dun. Like, that would actually be funny if that's how dust bullets came to be.
But then here's the thing: how did they make projectiles launch without dust from before? Or was it always just dust being implemented into projectiles?
Who knows? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Obviously the chicken. Like, how is that even a question?
I like Sonic Johnson's comment. It's basically Salem selling you lore like an advertisement. Seriously, look how she's posed in these thumbnails.
And look at the dress she's wearing. Oh my!
I like it.
Honestly, if her tits were bigger, I would honestly be thinking about all the things I'd love to do with her with a fresh jar of marmalade. Just so you know, what I mean is not like I'm gonna stuff the fucking thing down her throat because I fucking hate marmalade.
Now when I think about it, Salem looks like she's selling stuff through GoDaddy.
GoDaddy?
Yeah, you remember GoDaddy?
I don't. I do not know what the hell you're talking about.
GoDaddy.com. Oh.
I don't think they have GoDaddy in America.
Oh, it's famous in America.
I highly doubt if I haven't heard of it.
They're famous they have legendary Super Bowl ads.
Okay. I guess I'll just take your word for it. This. You know, sooner or later, like, everyone remembers how Miles got kicked out of his writing job. Is it because he just kept writing shit as he came to it without really refining anything, or was it because of his Tifa hot take?
I don't think he's been cut down though. I think he's still writing, but it's just I think Eddie's just part of the bossy crew. I think.
Yeah, Eddie's the boss now.
Oh, I don't know who's the boss in that flippin' section now, but Jesus Christ, that writing team needs a good renovation.
No, like, Ruby needs a reboot. Is
Reboot.
what it needs.
Ah! A reboot wouldn't even save that franchise because,
They fucked up so bad.
yep,
Even with the war.
yep.
It's even pointless too because when have you actually seen dust and its effects being used? Never. Like we haven't seen it used in who knows how long, and only for one instance, if possible, for every
But you
volume, and it's never in every volume as it should have been.
But you have to take into account, like, the ones that we're watching right now, like, Dust, Remnant, Dust, Kingdoms, Grimm, and stuff. They're all, like, Volume 1. So we follow, like, put it this way. Let's see it through the eyes of Volume 1. Because we like, from Volume 1, from, like, for Dust, for example, like, we're watching it through, like, we've seen Volume 1. Dust, like, we really know a little about Dust at the moment. Because we've only seen Volume 1. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like after Volume 1, like Dust, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. We haven't seen more. We will see more about Dust in Volume 2, and so far we haven't seen anything. We only saw Volume 2 about Dust is basically, yeah, the Vermin Torchbeak's been stealing all this dust just to try and make it cheaper.
No, he was trying to steal it to make it more expensive.
Yeah.
But even yet, even throughout those volumes, like even in Volume 1, we don't see it actually being used. It's just like they're saying that they're using dust rounds. You just can't tell it's dust rounds until you get to a specific fight. And even yet, that's only like what? Only to color differentiate the team?
Yeah.
Like when it came to the Nevermores. And my god, the arc of those projectiles are so god awfully inaccurate. Like it's like they're shooting like stormtroopers. Except even a stormtrooper could never get a projectile to curve like that. Just
to quote the cat from Red Dwarf, why don't we meet someone who can shoot straight?
Good grief.
But yeah, like with Dust, for example, in volume, like if we look at it through a volume from a fan watching Volume 1, yeah, we haven't really seen what happened with Dust. We only know that Dust is a steroid, and yeah, that's about it.
Oh, remember when Hazel could actually use dust as for using magic to throw fireballs out of his hands? In the Fighting Volume 5? How in God's name did he do that?
I is in
In a chi.
No, I was gonna say into his inner Gil from Street Fighter to do it.
The Hadoukens! Use your Hadoukens!
Should we move on to Kingdoms?
Yeah, let's move to Kingdoms, yeah.
No, Kurosho, I do not want you.
Kingdoms.
The world of Remnant is a dangerous place, particularly for man. In the countless years that humanity has roamed the planet, civilizations have grown and fallen, but four have withstood the test of time. Atlas, Mistral, Vacuo, Vale. These four kingdoms with the
Pause for a second. Pause.
Anime.
Yeah, pause.
Anime pause. Yeah, Vale. Yeah, Vale survived. Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Are treated like like where the leadership principles are the kings, or is it something else?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I
You
don't.
cut out way too many times.
Sorry. So are the principals of the academies the kings of the kings of that said place, or is it ruled by something else?
I think
I
it's
mean,
ruled by
they
a
said that they're
headmaster. By
yeah.
that's instituted by the government. So then, how would Osmond get into his Vale seat every single time he died?
I
I'm
don't
Ozpin,
know.
everybody.
Maybe he has certain skills that he learned from Wallace Simpson while they were in Shanghai.
As
You
in,
know what
he
this reminds
bribed all the As in, he bribed all the female council members into giving him his seats via through stimulation and pleasure.
Oh no! Even fun. This reminds me of Remember the last Airbender when Aang tried to use his Airbender status to get a free ferry ride to Passing Say, and he's like, "But I'm the I'm the Avatar, the last Airbender." Yeah, we've seen 5 or 6 of you like
Yes,
every
every
day.
day.
They're like little bastardized versions of it.
Yeah, but like,
And they're all not very convincing costumes.
Yep.
Like,
Can you imagine Ozpin like that? Like, I am Ozpin, I am Ozpin, the hero of Vale. Yeah, right. We've seen 5 or 6 of you like 10 minutes ago.
I mean, have any of you treated you well in bed? And then the receptionist immediately recognizes that very deep, recognizable voice. My darling, you have returned to me. Well, why haven't we had kids yet? We'll always continue abortions. But why? I want a family.
Oh, it's so wrong.
I mean, think about it. Osmond probably used his kids as human shields to abort them, because as just to mess with Salem, which only pissed her off even more, and makes her hate him more too. I mean, just think about it. Why do you think she has a huge hate boner for him that they just need to fuck again?
oh, so I guess what Ozpin and in order to win this war,
Oscar
I
needs
guess
to
what you're trying
ban
to say
Salem.
is that Ozpin and Salem
Oh,
they used to
no.
bone. So in of Diaz phone.
And in the movie, I bet you the guy would go, Mother of God.
Dude, the answer was in front of our face the whole. That's why Jin said Ozpin couldn't defeat her. He can't. He just needs to bone her.
Now that's some Shadman level shittery right there. I bet you if Shadman's listening to us right now, he must be going, I shall make an artwork of that with my powers.
But here's the thing, though. He's in a miner's body, and he has to hate bang Salem. Think of the implications, and then remember how everyone at RT is pretty shitty, and I bet they would actually totally do that, given how immature they are, but also trying to be professional with storytelling. I could totally see that happening. So they're legalizing
professional
fucking a
at
minor.
storytelling. Here's the thing, anime. Here's the thing. RT, professional and storytelling. Yeah, from where I'm sitting, that's a whole lot of bullfuckery right there.
You never ever see RT and very good storytelling in the same sentence ever. Like even Red Vest, like the only like when I managed to get storytelling down was in Red Vest, the offensive aspect, which was comedy. Like Ruby it's like it's not even a comedy anymore. It's like a really shitty. It's like a really shitty isekai anime.
Oh no! Even better. It's a really shitty soap opera. Even though not even Days of Our Lives would ever show. Like nowadays, I think whenever I see Casey singing, it's like listening to the narrator going, "Like sands through the hourglass, so too are the days of our lives."
And then you have like someone playing as then you have someone that's playing as Hamilton, where it's like, "We are your legacy."
I have no idea what you just referenced right now. I'm so sorry.
Hamilton the musical.
Okay, I've heard of Hamilton. I never knew it was actually musical.
Oh. We are so sorry for everyone in the chat that we're getting off topic, but whenever we talk about Ruby, you have to talk about something else in order to alleviate the pain and the encroaching insanity that is slowly coming whenever you talk about Ruby.
Yep.
Anyways, let's continue.
Yep.
Have proven that they have the will to survive. Each kingdom has a governing council to represent the people and their needs.
Yeah, sure.
A governing council we've never seen, by the way.
Okay, so remember in Volume 7 when they actually showed the council and there's like 5 or 4 members because, Iron holds 2 seats? Why is it 2 seats? Like why is it 5 seats? Like which one does, how do they cover this? Is one of economics? Is one of the governor of the particular city-state? Or what positions are attached to the seats? Ironwood is obviously general of the general of the armed forces, so that would be a seat. I could see Jock as the general of all economic finances. But who are the other 3 for?
Let's see.
No idea. Hold on, wait. Robin Hill, the seat of terrorism and basically criminal negligence. The brown lady, basically the seat of token diversity, because we have to have at least one black person here and have one of them be a lady. And the last guy is just the white guy that doesn't know, is the seat that doesn't know anything and is just there because the plot needs an old man.
Oh, not even funny. With the woman, it's Camilla. It's like strong, diverse woman is there because we need someone who looks like Nancy Pelosi. Because my God, she looks like Nancy Pelosi.
I mean, given the fact that they love the Democrats for the most part, I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, Jesus Christ. Wait, hold on. What if the other old guy was Bernie?
I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear it.
I'm just saying, what if the other guy on the council seat was Bernie Sanders?
Oh my God, he does look like Bernie Sanders.
Well, I guess he has to be called Joe Biden now because
this is Bernie. I mean, this is Sleet.
Oh, good grief.
So apparently sleet is a form of precipitation consisting of ice pellets often mixed with rain or snow.
Oh, okay, so he's definitely Biden.
And this gets even funnier. Okay, the guy who does the voice for Sleet here is one of the guys from
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Which one?
The guy
one of the guys who voices Sleet, or also does which one?
Chad.
Wait,
Chad.
he's the guy who voices Boomstick, right?
I think so.
Okay. Hey, Chad. Does Chad voice Boomstick or Wiz? The chat isn't responding.
It's a Ruby seems to have a problem with making additional videos, songs, and lore, but doesn't include it in show. Forget about it. Never fully utilized or retcon. Yeah, that's true.
So true, so true, Johnson. That is true. Yeah.
But yeah, with the council thing, yeah. Here's the other stupid part about right. So it's the two that's leadership in the leadership, and then the other three, and then the who are just basically yes men. Let's not pull any punches. Basically yes men. Like, so who's the other lead? Ozpin. Who's the other? Is it Glinda?
I don't know.
No, I mean, if they wanted to make it
Like
more
we never
diverse.
really see, we never council. Like we never see Vale's. Like aside from that one scene in Volume 2, where it's like, you know, after the Vital Festival, the Ozpin, we're going to talk to you about your seat on the council. We never know who is. We never see the
leadership
council.
We only saw the. See, it's funny. It's funny you mention that because we only saw the inner circle, and that's Oz's favorite team, which is basically Ironwood, Glinda, Oz, Crow. Well, and would you say Winter is part of that crew as well?
Now,
because no.
Now, yes.
No, I wouldn't say. Now, yes, but back in Volume 3, like Crow, like literally said, "Hey, Winter, piss off." The grown-ups, let the grown-ups speak. We don't have time for little girls like you. Go run home to daddy or something.
Oh, Justin just said something.
Nah.
Sorry.
I told you, I'm not daddy outside of the bedroom.
I've seen other series do this sometimes, but that's usually an extra.
And we
material.
Hey, Kush is back.
Indeed. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
I'm good. You okay?
Yeah. We're just waiting on updates.
Nice.
Oh, okay. We're on the kingdoms, and they're talking about the council, which is okay. So I'm going to go on a little rant here because I've done government and politics. And in government and politics, of course, we learn how the government works, and I learned how the UK government works and how the US government works. So seeing a council of just 5 members, sorry, but that is way too small. Like, okay, you know how when what is like hacking into the electoral system.
Yes.
Yeah. We see like when we see like these areas in Atlas and Vale, like that seem to be something similar to like counties or cities or something like that. Yeah, like how is there not a politician to represent each and every like part of that city, like each and every city, like in Atlas and Mantle?
Or like for different sections.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like, yeah, because like, okay, in the US and in the UK, like, you know, we have politicians that represent like a certain state or a certain district, for example. So here in the UK, we have like they're called constituencies, and we have last time I checked, we have like over 600 constituencies, and each constituency is represented by one member of the House of Commons, which is basically the most powerful. Which is basically Parliament, and in the UK, Parliament is sovereign, which means what Parliament says, whatever Parliament says, like goes, you know. So how is it that there are only 5 seats, but when you see the districts and areas, this is about give or take, so do forgive me, about over 50 areas, give or take. Like, so like does one council member like control at least 10? Like, does one council member represent 10 of those?
I would say no, based on what we've seen from Volume. Like we had two people in the as the final runners up, Jacques and Robin. So they would be the representatives of all of Mantle. Then who's the other people if James is all of Atlas?
Exactly. Like why are the other two people needed? Like, why are there not more politicians? I feel like RT doesn't know how a government works.
I
feel like it because if they did, they would have added way more politicians. Like you can have okay, I get the whole thing for Mantle thing, but then why not just have like the one area that Jacques and Robin are in, like basically the Florida of the place, where it's like usually, and whoever wins that certain county wins everything, you know.
Do you think? Well, no, it makes no sense. Like, all right, Argus, right? Argus is part of Atlas, correct? Like a border state.
I would assume so, given the fact that their military base controls Argus. No.
Yeah, a lot of the city and
citizens. Mistral and Atlas are joint at the hip at Argus for some reason. So I would imagine that there'd be two opposing councils to represent the Atlas people as well as the Mistral people because, politics and stuff like that. But the problem is that we don't see those politicians in some sort of courtroom because, RT sucks at politics anyway whenever they insert it into the shows. All we just see is a apparently dictatorship of a military base there that apparently has no reason to be there. But, we have Cardovan just being in charge of a base in the middle of nowhere that does jack shit.
Protects the people from Grimm, apparently, and is the main place to get to Atlas or Mantle. But what I don't get is there's citizenship are in Argus, and I assume in other, let's say other border areas, because they're not able to vote towards the next council.
Yeah, it's
so we have an election where, let's say, a quarter of the states cannot vote.
I think from Rooster Teeth's standard, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna be authoritarians, everybody, authoritarians.
When they said they wanted to make Atlas be the quote unquote future America, Trump's America, when Vale was kind of already America.
Yep.
Yeah,
see, Vale, from what I've gathered,
they should have made Atlas Iceland, basically, or Russia, or something like that. Like, if they really wanted to go the whole dictatorial thing, just make Atlas,
like
just,
Russia
they should have made
the
Atlas
USSR
just
times.
Like make it like Russia in the USSR time. Oh wait, but that's portraying how communism's shit, and RT doesn't want to show that. Because communism's good, okay? It hasn't properly been implemented.
Imagined Mantle to be more like Germany and Atlas to be like Russia. Menagerie supposed to be Australia, frickin' Vale's supposed to be America, and so on and so forth.
And what, Vacuum's supposed to be the Middle East? Because of how lawless it is?
Yep.
Well, they're kind of correct. It's been in the map.
I could not hear you.
Me or someone else?
You kept cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying Vacuo on the map. Does that take up Africa's spot, or is it somewhere like South America?
I would say
Vale would be the American equivalent, of course.
Actually no. In the current political climate, I would put Vale as America. No, not Vale America. I would say Vale would be like Asia. No, Mistral would be Asia. Vale would be Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay.
Vale would be Eastern Europe. Menagerie would be, I think, South America. If you think about it.
I mean, I honestly see them as Australia just because it was supposed to be a penal colony for the faunas. Just like Australia was a penal colony for criminals.
Yeah, but it's the same case with South America, though. Wasn't it?
But they also have the crazy animals that they're not able to expand.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be funny if the reason, like, they can't go beyond Menagerie and, colonize the rest of the island is because there's, like, emus just waiting there with shotguns.
Emus with shotguns.
Yeah, in South America, like, we can't really expand much into it. We can't really, a lot of countries can't, like, Brazil, for example, like, they have a huge, like, Brazil is, like, the biggest country, but most of it is just the Amazon. So, like, they can't really expand, like, very much into the Amazon, because, well, environmentalists,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, am I the only one hearing
the echo?
like echoing? Yeah.
I don't hear it.
I think that was a DJ's end.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, going back to the councilmen, unless there's anything else to say about, like, the geography.
Just the only thing I have to say about the councilmen is that there should be fucking more.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know how they work at all.
So, yeah, so as
okay, I'm going by something. Okay, I'm going by what is, like, similar to the US, to, like, the UK system. Mostly because, like, it's the system and it's, like, and for me, like, it's a system I can, like, mostly describe without too much trouble, because, like, the American system, like, I understand it, but, sometimes when I explain it gets a bit, but, like, should be more councilmen on there. Like, it's not just like, oh, a government is not just made out of 10 people,
Who run everything.
Yeah, like, a council, like, a government is made up of hundreds of people, and like, it depends on, like, or at the, like, at the very least, it depends on how many, like, districts or constituencies there are, And from what I saw in that one map where, like, when Watts is controlling everything, there's more, like more or less, about 50 or more, like, give or take. So should be...
you would say, like, each country has about 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, each councilman like, at the very least represents 10 seats, with the exception of Ironwood, who represents 20 seats, because, again, he has 2 seats on the council.
Which, I mean, it's funny, too, because Robin's entire, both Robin and Jacques, their entire campaign pretty much was to take power from Ironwood, whereas Ironwood, as far as I know, because he runs the school and because he runs the military, unless he retires, his seats can never be taken from him.
Yeah, like, that's one thing I always found weird. Like, why isn't... That was one thing, like, the whole election thing. I was like, hey, Ironwood, why aren't you, like, getting seats? Like, because, like, I honestly thought that Ironwood was, like, one of, like, those, like, one of Ironwood's seats was in Mantle.
Yeah.
You would think, because he's literally running Mantle, from what we see, that he would also have its seat.
Yeah, like, that would have been more interesting. It should have been, like, Jacques versus Ironwood for the seat of Mantle, That's how it should... Or if you want to do a 3-way, then yeah, okay, that's fine. I personally would just do, like, a 2-way, because I think it's much more simpler. But, like... but like, if you want to do a three-way, yeah, okay, that's fine. But like, that would have been so much more interesting. There would have been bigger stakes because if Ironwood loses, because it's like if Ironwood loses his seat, that means he loses power, which means he can't continue the Amity project in secrecy.
If there was ever a project, that is.
Well, I was talking about like the Amity Arena project.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Because like for what we can see, he's basically been able to do this because of supposedly how much power he wields in the council. But if he loses that seat, he won't be able to do it anymore. Like that could have been like a good motivation for like everyone to be like kind of worried about the whole election thing. But no, we have to have Robin Hillary Clinton versus Jacques Villa.
I mean, honestly, to me at least, Jacques should have already had his own seat just based on the ground that he's the #1 distributor of dust for the fucking planet.
Not only that, but given that he's a businessman, he could be running the economic sectors of, or the economics of Atlas. Like, you doing spreadsheets,
Yes.
going to meetings. Like, okay, so, like, guys, we have to start selling dust again, or try at the very least exporting dust because we're not making any returns to pay off the taxes and shit.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived Volume, 4, when he was having all those meetings with Ironwood in his own house. I was under the impression he was already part of the council.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how you could have had it to be where like, because of the whole dust embargo thing, like Jacques and Ironwood, they have a falling out, and then like, Jacques to kind of get back at like Ironwood and to hopefully like take away his seat, like he supports Robin.
I mean, it brings us back to why Jacques invited Robin to the little shindig he threw at his house when she was public enemy #1.
I think they were trying to. I think RT was also trying to reference the fact that remember when John F. Kennedy won the election, but yet had or remember in Call of Duty Black Ops where in 5 where during the Cuban Missile Crisis, John F. Kennedy, the Secretary of Defense.
Oh wait! Anime. What was that? Because could you cut out there?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone here has at the very least played Call of Duty Black Ops 1, correct?
No.
No.
Okay, so
Which one was that? I think I've only played the Modern Warfare franchise.
Black Ops 1 is the one where you go into Vietnam.
No, I have not played that, so I have no knowledge.
Okay, so there's this extra bit of content in Black Ops 1 called Nazi Zombies. And in one of the levels...
I'll play that then.
Yeah, in one of the levels, you play as John F. Kennedy, who's the other guy? It was...
You're cutting out?
Yeah.
Anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut out.
For fuck's sake. So... who did John F. Kennedy try running against in the 1960 election?
If I recall, no, not Bob Dole. Wait a second.
Wait. I think it was Richard Nixon.
Ah, yes, him. So in a cutscene, Richard Nixon, the guy who was in charge of Cuba during the missile crisis, and the Secretary of Defense, as well as John F. Kennedy, were sitting in a room. And the reason why they were sitting in that room was to discuss what happened with the Cuban Missile Crisis. But here's the other extra caveat. Richard Nixon was there so that way John F. Kennedy could gloat to him about winning the election. That's probably what they were referencing. I do not know for sure, but that's the impression I got when I start thinking about it now, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, like, considering they're pro-Democrat is honestly a surprise.
I don't want to give Rooster Teeth the benefit of the doubt of thinking that far ahead and putting that much thought into it. I honestly think they only wanted her there so that she could throw a chair, tell everyone that she was there, and be semi-relevant to them. We could almost do all of without Robin Hill being there, and not much would change outside of Tyrion murdering someone.
Oh,
Yeah, but that would actually be a good thing because, you know.
Like,
see,
everyone except for the fanatics love her.
Yeah. See, here's the funny thing with she was just. I reckon that was Kersey's idea because we all know how the Rooster Teeth's fandom is like. Not Rooster Teeth fandom, the Rooster Teeth office is like. Everyone is a big blue fan.
They're not. They're let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, like, if you support the Democrats, okay, that's fine. I disagree with you personally, but that's fine. Just don't fucking put it in your fucking works. And don't try to pretend that you're, like, this paragon of virtue. Especially when you hear some of the shit that the Democrats have done. You know, like, don't pretend you're the fucking moral... Like, you're the fucking, moral god or some shit, because you're fucking, you know...
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, this is not to mention these were the same Democrats, by the way, that want to get rid of the electoral colleges and all the other shit. But that's another talk for another day. But I think that they're trying to say is like, our government is run by the numbers and not the electoral college. Basically, that's what they're trying to say in Kingdoms. Well, later on.
Like, well, this is a video about kingdoms, so we might as well mention it. The kingdoms as a concept in Rwby, I mean, they're pretty much like nation without presidency, without presidents or kings.
Yeah.
So they're not kingdoms, not really. They're not. Oh, I don't want to say that they're not run by presidents. They're run by councilmen. But we know how the council actually works. All we know is they're voted in at some point, and there's less than a dozen of them.
Not even half a dozen.
Yeah, not even half a dozen. So, I mean, what happens if what happens if a grim attack? Some of these people get killed. We don't know, like, there was nothing about any running mates or anything like that. It was just Robin on her own, Jacques on his own.
Like, unless the countries have, like, the UK thing where it is illegal for them to die in the councilman house, for example. Like, I highly doubt, like, these people have any replacements or something.
Yeah.
Like, have a vice president or something, and before you ask, yes, that is an actual, like, UK law where, like, a member of the House of Parliament legally cannot die in the House of Commons.
which I still find rather retarded when you say it aloud.
Like, apparently the reason for that is because, like, if they die in the House of Commons, then they have to have a state funeral that is paid by the state. Like, it has to be done.
Just don't pay it.
Yeah, but, like, at the same time...
It would be private amongst the family.
But at the same time, it would be like, but they served our country and everything by being a politician.
You mean a lot of scumbags?
I don't have a problem with it. I do think it's kind of funny, though, that you're not allowed to die.
Like, honestly, it's like some of the UK laws are fucking hilarious. So, like, for example, the royal family technically owns all the wild swans in the UK, and if you kill one, you are technically committing treason, and thus will be killed.
Is that still in effect, or was it removed?
No, it's still in effect. I mean, we don't have the death penalty anymore, so, like, I'm going to assume that, like, you know, instead of death for life, for treason.
I need to clarify. That's for the swans, correct? The birds.
Yes, the swans. Yes, and the reason for that law is because according to legend, like an old medieval king, he loved swan pie, which back then was like a delicacy amongst the royal lineage. However, like people kept on like killing like swans like around like people like he lived near to, like they kept killing like swans, and so as a result like he couldn't eat as much, and so he basically made the rule that all the swans belong to me, and if you kill any of them you are committing treason, which means I can have you fucking killed. I can't remember which king that was, but I know it was a medieval one because back then, because I remember like my teacher telling me back then, medieval swan pie was a medieval.
Really, interesting point. Like we have the council. What about laws? We know of no laws that are actually in effect in the world of Remnant. As far as we know, there's no draft for huntsmen.
Yeah, like I mean, like Team Ruby and Team Juniper and Crow, they get arrested because they're operating without a huntsman's license. But one, how do Clover and the rest of the Aesops, how do they know that they are not official huntsmen? You know?
Oh, they're technically part of the Atlas
go ahead.
military. Yeah, they're part of the Atlas military, so the military are like, yeah, we're part of the military.
But how do how do they not know that, like, oh, these kids, they might, they might be from, like, another country, but they have huntsman licenses, you know? Like, is it like, is it for the huntsman licenses? Is like, you can only operate in a certain type of huntsman licenses will allow you to only operate in one area, or will it allow you to operate in the entirety of Remnant?
I think the entirety of Remnant.
If so, how do you get the requirements in order to get like a huntsman license allow you to operate like in the rest of the world?
I think it's when you graduate from Beacon. Like Beacon's like the secondary. Beacon's like school. Once you finish school, you're on your own. Like huntsman. The huntsman life is like university.
Once you actually graduate from whatever country's huntsman academy, you get a license that is universal because they can operate anywhere. I assume, especially with the lockdown, that huntsmen like the Aesops would be notified of all active huntsmen in the area, especially since they're not in any uniform, which we see that Atlas and Mantle have uniforms for the most part, at least with the Aesops and the military. Not so much with, I guess,
a group of 8 people that stuck together when they should have been separated.
Say again?
You mean like how Ruby and Co. do not have actual official uniforms, and so, you know, they're gonna easily stand out if they're just gonna be a bunch of walking hooligans destroying stuff, as well as, you know, being giddy and stuff.
Exactly. Like when Team Ruby was in Beacon, they did have their uniforms that they went with a few episodes. I assume Team Funky would also have something similar when they weren't in the Vital Festival.
One would.
Here's a question for you. Yeah, here's a question though. Would you say the huntsmen are bounty hunters or police people?
They're mercenaries.
They're mercenaries. I mean, I was going to say bounty hunters, but yeah, actually, now that I think about
both, I would say. Like, as far as we know, like huntsmen can patrol and reinforce the law, which I mean, that's I still think of Weiss's comment, like, "Can I do that?" When she arrests her father.
But again, that's still retarded though, because she didn't. Because sure, she came into the evidence of her father being in doing an illegal deal, But so then, how come they haven't, I don't know, continued questioning her? Like, how did she get this information? Is the source reliable? Where was this? Where did this
They
actually
never
take
did
place and
anything
shit?
like that.
Yeah, like that.
They'll
Doesn't make any
treat
sense.
lore and they'll treat like lore the same way they treat the politics in the show.
Yeah.
Terribly, with the surface value.
Plus, they wanted to do a whole. I wanted to bust Trump, and this is the closest thing I could do it. So.
Oh, yes, it was
ta-da!
their
that's
revenge
basically
fantasy.
their wet dream. I wonder how much they fapped afterwards after writing that.
Well, we'll see what volume 9, if Trump wins, what they decide to cry into the series next.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're gonna be like so hate fapping.
Okay, see, here's the problem with. Okay, I know we're talking about kingdoms and stuff. Here's another interesting thing we need to discuss about. What is it with RT's writing crew when they always want to add in deep themes and political commentary into the show when it's not really that necessary because there is a big bad evil coming on the way.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, a clusterfuck. There's really no other way I can describe it. Like, I get that they want to do certain themes, and that's fine. The problem is they've done so many themes poorly, and they've even admitted it. Like, they just dropped the faunus discrimination. They can say they resolved it, but I mean that's a load of horseshit. They dropped it. There was nothing with the faunus in Atlas and Mantle, the place where so much faunus protests and activism should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like for example, in the Grim World of Remnant,
You cut out there, just a fan.
we are told that cold cannot survive the cold because it's so fucking cold. It's that cold that not even the Grim can, survive. I've always held the belief that that was a Monty thing. That Monty wrote that in. So then, when we did get to Atlas, all we had to do was focus on the faunus discrimination. And if anyone asks, where is the Grim? Because Atlas is such a racist country. That would be the explanation. Because it is so cold, no Grim can survive it.
Yeah, and
yet we got him that were perfectly adapted for the cold.
Yeah. Like, I always held the belief that was the Mars and fucked up the faunus discrimination that badly. Like I still to this day I will hold this belief till the day I die. The Grim being unable to survive the cold, that was a Monty idea. That was not a Miles and Carey idea. That was a Monty idea because even he knew that like trying to juggle faunus discrimination, Atlas and the Grim would be too difficult. So he made that piece of law. So then if anyone asked, hey, how come Atlas is the most racist country but there's no Grim? That would be the reason. That would be the excuse why.
yeah, and then also, Sonic Johnson 10 that's
You cut out
cutting out anime.
fuck. Like, Sonic Johnson said it best. Just keep real world politics out
Anime, you're cutting out.
Oh my.
Anime, you're cutting out.
Yeah. That's weird. That's weird because I can hear myself just fine.
You said that sentence just fine just now.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyways, Sonic Johnson 10 said this a while ago. Like,
And you're cutting out.
I hate my internet so much. Anyways, Sonic Johnson says, keep...
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Okay, are you guys just fucking with me now?
No, you are cutting out, but you just said that sentence perfectly fine. Anytime you say like 2 sentences in a row, it cuts you out for the second.
That should be a running gag, like the couch, like the couch gag for The Simpsons. Yep, he's cutting out.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Sonic Johnson
That's
says,
Oh.
keep real world politics out and figure out that can be used inside the show, because it doesn't seem like they're good at writing them without being subtle. They've never been subtle.
Sentence you just said cut out. Could you repeat that, please?
Because it doesn't seem like they're
Girl,
going...
you cut out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got to the part where it says to keep real world politics out of the show, and then everything after that was muffled.
Yep.
And figure out ones that can be used.
Muffling out.
For the love of...
I think it's your mic, actually.
Couldn't be my mic. Hold on.
So Sonic Johnson, he said, just keep real world politics out and figure out ones that can be used inside the show, because it doesn't seem that they are good at writing them without being subtle.
Okay,
I think it was just. I think the subtle. So I will say this. I will say this. I think the subtlety, it was very overt in this season, because they wanted to make themselves sound like, yes, we're a strong, diverse, progressive company, just to make ourselves know that we hate Trump, we hate Orange Man bad, and anyone who supports Orange, kick him out of the country.
That for capitalism as well, because who's the villain? Oh, it's the guy with the conglomerate.
Yeah.
Hey, at the very least, they could have made him like morally grey or something.
Yeah. But old white man, Jocks fits the description. Let's put him in there.
So do
so
do most of the Dems.
Oh hell, like they could have had it be like, yeah, he's a pretty shit dad, but like, but he's a very, very good businessman. Like the backstory I kind of made, like for Weiss and the Schnees, is that Nicholas, he was assassinated by the Faunus, and like when he died, because like Jacques was very close to him, Willow was very close to him, and so were the kids, with the exception of Whitley, because he was a very young boy, and so like Nicholas was basically the glue that held the family, and when he died, the family fell apart. Like Willow became an alcoholic, Jacques, in his grief, turned to his work, because that was the only thing he could do. Like basically leaving like Weiss and Winter to essentially like kind of confide in each other, and while Whitley is kind of the forgotten child, because no one was there for him, because it's like he didn't remember his grandfather, he'll be fine, when in reality he's kind of now in isolation. And of course, because of like Willow's alcoholism and Jacques being away from work all the time, like it creates tension in the household, because and of course they argue and everything, and then of course you can have Jacques say the lines, "I only married you for the company and your name," and of course he immediately regrets it, but the damage has already been done and everything like that. Like that would have been like a great thing, where it's like, yeah, Jacques is not the best father, but there's like complexities to him, like he's not a great father because like the only father figure he had was taken away from him. In fact, that could be a reason as to why he doesn't like Faunus, because the guy who treated Faunus well and actually like gave him fair wages and shit, he was killed, even though he was doing all this good stuff.
Yeah.
Do we know the cause of Nicholas Schnee?
No. But like that was always kind of my idea of like the Weiss family. How like as soon as Nicholas died, everything went to shit. Essentially.
Can you imagine? Here's a funny one. Can you imagine they do the whole Nicholas Schnee story as like Hamlet? Can you imagine Nicholas Schnee go to Weiss like, Weiss, Your father killed me.
No, enough stupid ghost shit with the not Pyrrha's mom ghost crap. No, I'm sorry. I know it's a tangent off of the kingdoms, but screw entire scene, especially because it was so emotionally important for a lot of viewers. Like anything to do with Pyrrha, even for some hated of you, usually just like a soft spot, you know?
Yeah, but here's the stupid part with that Pyrrha scene, the statue scene, right? The amount of character was just, what the fuck, man? What the fucking fuck?
It's funny, for Pyrrha, they threw her character under the damn so many times. They tried to talk around the fact that she, for a what she would have believed a noble reason, and her mother not mother ghost spirit thing is like, well, she was a huntsman, she signed on for that anyway. It's like, but it wasn't because she was a huntsman that she fucking died. It was a very specific thing. It didn't do justice. I know a lot of people, they hear the music, they see the scene, and they get emotional, and they cry because, you know, this is a very, you know, and I didn't get that when I saw it.
So I did have that moment.
I just yawned.
But here's the funny thing. At this point with Jean, I'm starting to think he's going to be like the Ice King. At this point, it's like, Pyrrha's my princess.
But here's the thing, though. The Ice King was better written.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. He became the friggin' heart of that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. If anything, the whole thing with Pyrrha, like, are they letting go of her going forward in the show? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would have said yes, but then we got her teleporting and out of the fucking scene. So
vanish.
Yeah. So, mystery. Was she really there? Was Jean talking to a spirit in his own head? But the flowers were there. But are the flowers ghosts?
All that idea funny, Nora didn't even see her.
Yeah. It was convoluted for the sake of it being just an open plot hole that they could take either way. I get that. But it just ruined the scene if you think for a second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people enjoy Rwby just taking it in, and that's totally fine. But it was supposed to be a big thing, and it just wasn't there for me because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least when Demon Slayer does it, like, because like in Demon Slayer, there, like, you know, you have like ghosts that come to the heroes in like their time of need. So like in Tanjiro, like when Tanjiro fights the spoiler alert, by the way, like the fifth moon, like the lower fifth moon demon, like basically the mother essentially like wakes up Nezuko to help her brother. And, you know, and then of course we see, and then of course, like just before Tanjiro is about to die, when he first, like when he's about to be killed by the hand demon, like Tanjiro's little brother is like, "Hey, wake up, you idiot! You're about to be killed." And then of course Tanjiro dodges the attack. So like, at least when Demon Slayer does it, at least it's consistent with it, like with the whole ghost thing.
Yeah.
I think the gods are probably going to have Ghost intervene at some point. you know, Ghost Spear is going to be a damn thing. Before the
no! Oh, but then here's the problem. Okay, someone actually mentioned that for volume 5 or 6. I don't know which one. So you might see a Ghost Pyrrha, and someone said like, "What teach? what does Pyrrha have to teach? And anything else to teach?"
She has to teach John how to take the pussy.
No, we already have characters dedicated for that, and that was the Volume 7 milk, who are all dead. John will never get anyone. The writers will keep killing his waifus.
Man, I was sure, like, I was sure it's like Jean is like Miles' self-insert because he seems because he used to be very shit at writing self-inserts if that's the case.
Well, I bet you Volume 3...
Carrie writes it for him. I don't know.
I bet you Volume 3 was basically Miles breaking up with Aaron. Just going, yes! This is how breakups are like, huh?
Oh boy.
I mean...
Oh yeah, Aaron and...
that does explain...
Aaron and...
oh, sorry.
I was just about to say, Aaron and Miles, they dated some time ago, didn't it?
Yeah, they were dating when the show was in production. I don't know when they broke up, and I don't like to think that they wrote anything relating to their relationships in the show. I hope to God they didn't.
I mean, it does.
They would be okay as hell if they did.
I mean, it does explain Blake's activism, given the fact that Miles knew her personally, and how she's a bisexual that's very activist about the LGBTQ, quote unquote, rights. But
yeah, she's so activist that she didn't go to Hill's frickin' campaign.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you also think about it, it's probably just payback for Miles, if you think about it, because, isn't he, like, a very, very, like, he doesn't, like, does he take shit well, or no? I don't remember.
No, he doesn't. I've seen his discussions on criticism. He does not take anything well.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
I mean, if he takes breakups as badly as he takes criticism, then I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I was looking for quotes from him a few years back, and all his Twitter stuff, if it's not about the show, it's about Trump. So I'm not surprised Volume 7 went down the way it did at all. And they could say that wasn't the case, but they did be lying through their teeth, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they say that.
And like the very fact that they say, this was planned from the beginning, I'm like, bullshit. Because like, how the fuck did Monty know what the hell would happen? What, was he like a psychic or something? Then how the fuck did he not see his...
Well, he died before the 2016 election, so...
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
None of that was part...
Yeah, exactly. That is the argument I will always say. So then, if Monty could fucking like predict the future, then how the fuck did he not see his death? Like, if he really did plan this from the beginning, because Monty must have been psychic since he died in 2015. So like, how the fuck did he know shit that was happening in 2016?
Well, yeah, stuff that's happened in 2016 that comes out in 2019.
Seems way too suspicious, as well as, perfect timing if you think about it.
Yeah, like,
how do you mean?
Anyone who believes that this part of Rwby was planned is, I'm sorry, but they're fucking morons. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest.
I mean, I'm sure it was planned at some point, but I refuse to believe it was part of Monty's plan, which I don't really want to go into, what he did and did not want for the show, but I just cannot believe that this was one of the things he wanted with what we saw.
I bet you most of them will all just will say good things on Monty in relation with, he made my shit possible! He made my shit possible! That's it. That's all they'll care about. Like that. See, here's the funny thing, right? Here's my biggest gripe about this, right? People will say, "Oh, don't use Monty's name to criticize about Rwby," but they'll use Monty's name to talk about Rwby in terms of he spoke in the AfterBuzz video about making Bumblebee a thing because of a certain AfterBuzz interview.
It's one of the things that infuriates me. Oh, go ahead, Jester.
I was just saying, did they ever show the Octobuzz interview?
Yeah. I think Shalong did hers. But yeah, here's the funny thing, right? Here's the funny thing. Monty says like there will be LGBT characters and ships. And I think he said something about ship being earned in the series.
Relationships will be earned. Yes.
Yeah, relationships will be earned. But here's the funny thing: they didn't show that part. They only showed, we will introduce LGBT thingy characters, and that's it.
I actually liked the tweet that showed that entire, or for the most part, that full conversation. And
yeah, instead of cherry picking that conversation.
But
that frustrates me. People like to pick and choose when and when not to use him to promote or deflect things. I like to say that everyone has done that to some degree on both sides of the fandom, whether you're backing the so-called Rwby or you're against them. People at some point have done that, but yeah, it's difficult.
But yeah, like we don't know jack shit about the government, and hell, they could have just simply done that in Volume 1, Volume 2, or hell, even Volume 3 when classes were in session, or hell, they could have just simply done that with Atlas, with how Atlas is run. But no, the Grimm have to be here rather than actually world build with Atlas and its politics and shit. Because Grimm, everybody.
I think
Grimm.
having it without the context of how politics and elections work in general, like we only got one episode, right, that actually explored the candidate's belief. We got one quick, not even a full minute of Jacques saying, like, vote for me and you'll have jobs. And then we got one quick thing with Robin saying, vote for me because vote for me. What was her platform, actually?
She wanted to She wanted to repair the wall to the, she wanted to repair the wall in Mantle.
So she wanted to build a wall.
They made Hillary the wall. They made a Trump allegory out of Trump and Hillary allegory about through Jacques and Robin Hill, except they put more. Except they tried putting more of Trump into Jacques, and then they tried putting most of Hillary into Hill.
Still think it's funny looking back because, again, like, whether you dislike Trump as a president or not, whether you back his politics or you don't, the funny thing is, the takeaway for me is they had the anti-Trump character wanting to build a wall because, by their own words, walls are effective at protecting citizens from foreign threats.
And I will always laugh at that too. But here's the thing, though, like when it comes to politics, how do people acquisition resources? Because they keep saying, well, why don't you just go through the proper channels to get the resources you need? But we can't because you're taking all of our resources. So wait.
It's funny. What was I think it was one of Twin Link's videos. They had showcased how Weiss, with just her weapon alone, could fill the hole in the wall, like how she summoned the boulders and the ice against Cordovan's mech. She could have filled that wall any time she wanted.
Yeah, but it'd not be an effective wall because, hundreds of Grimm coming at it at fucking 40 miles per hour could destroy any wall.
They haven't. They went through a pre-established hole. I'm assuming at one point they only breached one part of the wall. The Grimm didn't try other locations. I mean, their survival instincts are supposed to adapt to failure. So I'm assuming that the military has successfully wiped out every single Grimm that has ever probed them.
I mean, the Atlas military was made retarded for the sake of the plot. It wouldn't surprise me if they figured out, like, hey, now that they're now only putting maybe 2 people at most on a wall, we could just go through this opening. Or hell, the Grim even scaled the damn thing. Or flown over it. So, what would be the point then? Because they have no...
And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I was gonna say, and here's the funny thing. Who's gonna build the wall? Is it gonna be Robin's elite group of what's the Mary?
The Mary Hunt, that's what it is.
I think you mean Mary Sue.
Mary Sue.
I have to cook dinner, so rest of your days. Take care.
Yeah.
We should continue the video, by the way.
Yes, it's been paused for half an hour.
Yeah.
We're so sorry.
We're still
to everyone in the chat, we are so sorry.
We are talking about the kingdoms, though.
Yep.
just roundabout.
Yep.
Take care, all.
Have fun.
Yeah.
But I do have to say this. Given that we're talking about material acquisitions, how does one go about requesting it? Is it like a socialist thing of where you could politely ask for more resources, but you get denied because you're not communist enough? Just think about it.
Please. Oh, wait, no. Please, sir. I want some more.
They want more.
I can imagine Jacques going like, imagine why, like, please, Father, can I have more dust? More!
I've given you, Wise, I've given you about 300 bullets of dust this week. Where the fuck did you, how the fuck did you use them all so quickly? Ruby, really? For God's sake. How in the world did you not become leader and her? I don't know. Because the plot demanded it.
I'm only 12. I like that Ruby Chibi episode. How am I supposed to be leader? I'm only 12.
But getting back onto like how governments are run, like, yeah, 5 people is way too small for a city-state that big, especially with a literally floating island the same size as that city-state. Like, way too small.
Like, they should at least be like in the double digits. Come on, like even when oh fuck, I forgot which city it was, but like one time there was, I think it was like Sparta. Like they managed to, I can't remember if it was Sparta or if it was like another city which invaded Sparta. But like I remember this one where it's like one of the city streets of another city, and basically, and like they would do essentially whatever the fuck they wanted until the people said, "Fuck you, what you're doing," and like basically threw them out and killed anyone who was associated with them.
Huh. Anyways.
Yeah, like at the very least, it should be like more like at the very least should be like 30 if it's like a city state or something.
Yeah, I mean, like when all the Greek city-states were city-states, they still had quite a large council, despite them being small, because you have multiple pieces of infrastructure, such as agriculture, science, shit like that. So how in the hell are there only 5 people? Do they just cover a broader range, like Ironwood, or do they just give Ironwood, the Huntsman, and the military as one seat because they should be colloquially localized together, and then they have one person for being the governor of Mantle, and then one being the governor of Atlas, and then just one guy doing everything else.
You cut off a little bit there, but yeah, I think we got it. It was all good.
We don't know. Rwby doesn't know can't politic, right?
Anyways, let's continue the video.
Next comes the military. While most kingdoms only
The
allow
military.
citizens to serve when needed, others find it important.
Wait. Citizens to serve. Wait, pause. Citizens to serve. In Volume 7, were there any citizens that participated with the Atlas military?
No, they actively
Nope.
basically said, "Fuck you, pigs."
Yeah. Well, Rwby, you put modern day politics into this as well.
Well, no, they didn't say "fuck you, pigs," but they rioted like
They
the current riots like that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, can we just take a moment to discuss how in the hell did they predict that the George Floyd riots were going to happen and somehow make that good? Like,
Well, I always thought that the riots were more or less in response to Hillary Clinton, not a premonition of the George Floyd riots, but
No, they were more into the not my president.
then fucking move to Canada if it's not your president. Seriously, if these people are so pissed about, Trump being president, move to Canada.
Yep. All right. Anyways, keep going. Let's keep going. Anime.
yeah.
To be prepared. There are still those who choose to venture outside the walls of the kingdoms. Roaming nomads in small villages are not uncommon, yet neither is their tendency to disappear overnight. Lastly,
Pause for a second.
the huntsman.
Pause for a second. Yeah, we've seen the nomads somewhere before. Where have we seen them?
No matter nowhere.
Nowhere. Oh, you messed up the joke, anime.
And also, not to mention, they tried that before in Volume 4.
Yeah, with like the tribes and shit.
Yeah, and that went nowhere. Hey.
Yeah, with how Raven and Crow like entered the tribe. And what it seems like is that like they were one of the village was attacked until like the tribe quote unquote took them in.
Yeah. And then Crow left when he found out they were killers and murderers.
No,
apparently.
he didn't find out. He knew they were murderers and thieves, and she decided to stay for some reason.
Despite the fact that they basically have the fighting equivalent of a stormtrooper.
Yep.
No,
Anyways, let's keep going.
no, just a fan. They're worse than a stormtrooper.
Oh yeah,
Because
at least
even a
so,
stormtrooper could still kill a few rebels.
fair enough.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah, got it.
These institutions' sole purpose is to train the next generation of huntsmen. The next generation of defenders that will live and die to protect the lifestyle that they've become so accustomed to. Yes.
Hashtag foreshadowing.
But here's the thing. Why on God's green earth are they not loyal to the state? Because they're mercenary. They're basically a mercenary group training mercenaries. And they can accept whatever job they want. Such as assassination. Grim assassination. More assassination of a political dissidents.
I'm surprised they haven't taken that route.
Actually, that would have been good if they made like a dark Robin, like a darker Robin Hood like thing, where it's like maybe Ironwood, who's so like maybe either Ironwood or Jacques, have Jacques, who's so afraid of like not winning that he hires Robin Hood to like kill Ironwood, or hell, maybe have Ironwood like because he doesn't want to. Like, because he doesn't want to lose his place, like, has someone, like, assassinate Jacques or something. I don't know, one of the two.
Like, here's something that I placed, like, I know we probably shouldn't be talking about OCs and stories and shit, but, like, that's one of the aspects I wanted to explore until apathy set in. Like, how do, like, huntsmen and bounty hunters are two different institutions. Bounty hunters do the jobs that the huntsmen won't, which is essentially go after the criminals that want to destroy shit, and or murderers and thieves like that, because as far as we know, huntsmen are trained to be basically grim killing special forces, and that's it. Now, sure, they have morality and stuff, but here's the thing, though. If you can't get rid of the dissidents that want to lie, cheat, and steal, like, I don't know, murderers, like, you need people going after them, and if local law enforcement and the huntsmen can't get to them because they're, let's face it, they can only kill Grim, why not have a different institution, such, like, say, I don't know, a bounty hunters guild similar to Star Wars, in each place to be that type of law enforcement if the law enforcement can't do anything or don't have the resources that bounty hunters do. Thus making them guns, thus people getting the impression that they're just guns and murderers for hire, even though they're taking out the actual murderers. And then there could be a bit of dissidence, like there could be also a distance between understanding a huntsman and a bounty hunter. Because bounty hunters would be seen by the people as cold, thoughtless murderers of people. By not only the citizens of the bigger cities, but also huntsmen. However, the bounty hunters see the huntsmen as just, rich children playing hero. Just because they could kill a Grim that anyone could if they just had a modicum of firearms training and actually, want to keep the Grim at over more than 1,000 yards away from your home.
Yeah, I actually remember, reading this one, Rwby Fap, a long time ago, where, they had, different types of huntsmen, and, it was kind of like an AU where, after someone dies, Ruby's family, they become so distant from her because, she has Summer's face and looks exactly like her. And then, basically some shit happens, and then, Ruby meets, Summer Rose's brother, her uncle, who, and then he basically trains her to become a huntress. However, the type of huntsman he is basically a lifestyle that everyone, frowns upon, which is a blacklist huntsman. And in the story, it's portrayed as huntsmen who go after rogue huntsmen.
Yeah, like policing your road, being a type of law enforcement. That would add greater world building.
So, and in the story, it was so frowned upon that because of the high mortality rate, and the very fact that, in fact, it's kind of said in the story that the very fact that Summer is dead while her brother is alive is basically a miracle, because blacklist huntsmen, they don't live very long. However, pronounce his name is Reyes. That's how you pronounce his name. He is as the best blacklist huntsman in the world. And he begins to essentially train Ruby after her family thinks that she's dead, essentially. We also get some things on Aura as well, that when a child Aura is unlocked, they have to basically stay in quarantine because they attract so many Grim.
And yeah, that makes sense, especially if you're in an area such as Batch, where there's still very young Grim. But yeah. Oh, and Sonic.
And it's also stated that in the story that Ruby unlocked her semblance, her aura and her semblance, way earlier than what is usual. Because she's 6 when it happens, and usually at the earliest people unlock their aura when they're 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just a fan. That is just an example of a fan fiction beating the actual fucking series.
Yeah, and sorry, Sonic Johnson 10, but it's just, when you think about all the problems just after watching 5 seconds of it, you just go into a long rant or critique of why this is so fucking stupid. And wanna know what's even more hilarious? I just bought the Bounty Hunter codebook from Star Wars. And yeah, like, how is it that? But yeah, and one of the quotes in the book about bounty hunters is that civilians and most government officials think of bounty hunters as greedy, happy, trigger happy opportunists. They even been called scum because, they kill people because just in case if the job requires it. But only bounty hunters know the lifestyle of bounty hunters, so they understand what their actual job is. They're basically an extension, like the special forces of the law enforcement of a particular sector, system, or region.
Anime, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I just stopped talking.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought like Discord was fucking up again.
Yeah, and on the next page of it, it says the misconceptions about bounty hunters. Are bounty hunters murderers? No, murderers kill unlawfully. Are bounty hunters assassins? No, assassins typically target specific individuals for political or religious reasons. Do bounty hunters kill innocent people? Never intentionally. Now, make no mistake, it can happen, but you as an official licensed law enforcement officer, it is your job to prevent such things happening, but we understand that such things do happen because of situations out of your control. Do certain laws apply to bounty hunters? Yes, because again, you are a law enforcement officer. Are bounty hunters mercenaries? Absolutely not. Mercenaries, freelance soldiers for hire, serve foreign armies. Bounty hunters have little regard to anyone whose allegiance is for sale. And that's from page 2 of the Bounty Hunter Codebook from Star Wars. That is also Boba and Jango Fett's personal guide that I just bought today.
Nice.
But yeah.
Alright. Should we continue this? Because I think Johnson is getting...
Sorry, Johnson. But, just talking about one problem leads to another, and it just spirals out of control. Sorry.
The world of Remnant is indeed a dangerous place, but the four kingdoms stand as beacons of hope. As safe havens
Yeah,
from
yeah.
darkness.
From where I stand, it's a whole lot of bullshit. Yeah, keep going.
Surrounds them. They are the key to mankind's survival. As long as they stand united.
Yeah, bullshit.
As we can see, that is, I
That
like to
is
quote John
foreshadowing,
Cena.
kids.
I like to quote John Cena. Are we sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
John Cena!
No, for me, for me, it's more press X to that. Press X to that. Press X to that.
Oh, God. But yeah,
Look, kids, foreshadowing. You like your show, right? Right?
but isn't this recycled content? And aren't you communists? Oh no, we don't speak of the capitalist pigs. We just don't. Communists don't reuse assets. No. We use it till it's broken. But isn't that basically the same thing as reusing the same asset? No, son. We use it till it's broken. Again, reusing assets till they break. Hush, boy. You do not know true communism like we do. Like we millennial adults do.
Oh man, it's just a pain. It's just a painful episode.
I mean, these aren't bad, but when you compare it to the actual show, it is just painful to look through this and then look through the show and then, good God, how could they have fucked up? Like, it's literally right there for them to rewatch to refresh their memory for the next volume. Like, like, I have been told this by fanfiction writers as well as from what I've seen from actual writers. Reread your original work to make sure you have consistency. Review it over and over and over again.
Consistency, those guys.
The day Ruby becomes consistent will be the day the world stops spinning.
No, till hell freezes over.
Yeah, exactly. When the world stops spinning.
Anyway, should we end it? Should we call it? I mean, we've been talking for nonsense.
How about we have a very short Q&A?
Alright.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, anyone there in the chats, do you have any questions for us?
Oop.
Anime, you dropped out there.
Fuck.
You need to get better
let me-
internet service.
It's not my internet service. It's my tech, man. Like, I'm using outdated models.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, this Elite book was made in 2015.
Wow.
It's
That
already
is old.
outdated. Yeah.
Well, guys, if you have any questions for us, just leave them in the chat below, and we'll answer them as soon as we can. But yeah, Ruby and lore, it's real shit.
Yeah. And just-
It's like
Yeah.
it has so much potential, but it squandered it all on shit.
Like, yeah. And, like, sure. Like, you know the bare basics of the bounty hunters in Star Wars from the movies and other shows. But when you pick up the supplemental content, it gives you more. And it
Yeah.
actually adds as the reason why such and such things happen in the actual... in the other media. I mean, hell, in the Bounty Hunter Handbook, you literally have one guy dedicated to the entire history of bounty hunting. And if you know how big Star Wars is, it's a vast universe spanning thousands of years.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to read the supplemental materials, but you can if you want to, you know?
Yeah.
It's like how all lore should be. It's like, you know, here's some stuff in the main plot, but here's a little bit extra if you want to, like, know more about it. It's why I'm so frustrated why a lot of games and I think the Star Wars trilogy did this as well, like, they always put, like, the important shit in the comic. So, like, for example, in the Disney Star Wars film, you want to know what happened to Kylo Ren and how he met up with Snoke? Here, read the Rise of Kylo Ren comic books to find out.
Yep.
It's like, no, that shit should be in the film. Like, not in a fucking comic book that I'm certain 90% of the audience won't buy because, well, the sequel trilogy.
How
It's
bad is
like-
the DC? Speaking of Ruby and sorry.
It's like, you know, it's like, like the trilogy wasn't great, but I'm pretty sure if we had more of Kylo Ren and we understood his fucking backstory, it would at the very least have made shit better.
Anyways, you're
I
about
don't
to say
think we have
something,
any-
DJ?
I was gonna say, like, speaking of side comics, how bad are the side comics? With DC, the Ruby.
They are fucking horrible, mate.
I mean,
So
when I...
the art is atrocious.
The art is atrocious, the stories are okay, except for the ones that are trying to push the narrative of the bumblebees.
Bumblebee forever, bitches.
Yeah.
It's like the only good thing is like the coloring. That is it. Like
The coloring and
'cause,
lighting?
No, not lighting. The coloring.
But yeah, when I reviewed the first issue, I'm like, oh my, how can this be so canon and yet so not canon? Because when I looked through it, all the panels that were talking about Ruby and stuff, they were both canon and not. Because here's something you don't see every day: Penny in a beacon uniform when she was from Atlas.
You cut off there a bit, anime.
He said Penny was in a beacon uniform when she was from Atlas.
Nice. Oh man.
Why?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
one sec, I'm about to pull something up on my phone and, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
You're gonna pull something up on your phone anyway?
I'm gonna pull something up on my phone and read it because because I'm just feeling a bit lazy at the moment because I am just
It's
tired from my
alright.
job last night.
It is okay. We are all like fucking. It's just Ruby. It's a special kind of
Tearing your soul out and feeding it to Satan.
No, like I'm trying to say is that Ruby is a special kind of bad. Where it's like it's so bad. If you talk about one thing, you have to talk about everything else.
And it just spirals out of control as always. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's like whenever like I watch a show, I feel something, you know? Like whenever I watch Black Lagoon, I feel happy, you know? I feel like I want to go to Roanapa and I want to join Rwby, Rock, and everyone else in their, in their adventures, you know? Whenever I watch My Hero Academia, I want to like go into the world and I want to go into the world. I want to be personally, I'd be a vigilante because, vigilante's like for me. But it's like I want to explore the world. I want to know more about it. Which is why I'm currently reading like the side series of My Hero Vigilantes, which it gives it's not really needed if you want to learn about the main story because it is set 5 years before My Hero Acca, but it's there as a special side story. Like if you want to know more about the world or you want to see Eraserhead's, Present Mike's, and Midnight's backstory, and which is actually really fucking tragic, especially when you learn about someone they used to know, which I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But let's just say he may become important later in the main show. That's all I'm going to say about that. These worlds make me forget about the crappy shit in my life. They make me they make me forget that I'm in the real world, that I'm so sucked in I forget that it's like an anime or TV show. With Rwby, I don't feel anything. I just feel, well, ironically enough, apathy. It's like there is so many bad shit about the show that it just piles one after another after another. And I know some of you are probably wondering, then why do you still do this shit? Why do you still talk about it and shit? Well, simple really. I need a fucking outlet for my anger. And Rwby is the perfect thing because of how bad it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a little bit ranty and philosophical there for a minute.
Oh no, don't be. I'm about to get into my own personal rant. I still watch Rwby because I guess I just have this unceremoniously apathetic hope that it would, for the love of God, get better now that Miles is off the main seat. But
it won't get better.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
But
call me a British cynic, but it won't get Eddie Rivas has shown to be just as much of a hack as Miles. And if they still have Poop Garden author there, then I won't be surprised.
Yeah, but the reason why I still do this is because Rwby is that special kind of stupidity that even fanfiction writers go I wouldn't even make that mistake even as a beginner of writing. And I'm using Rwby as a means to explain why writing this bad should be called out rather than praised. Just because you have your fifis tickled because you have or because you finally connect to a character just because of sexuality and shit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and I'm also sick and tired of everyone saying, like, telling me that, oh, you're bisexual, so so you must love Blake. I'm like, no, I fucking hate her. Like, don't just say, but don't assume that because of my bisexuality, I, for even a fucking minute, like Blake, I fucking hate the bitch, and I want her to fucking die. It's like, and like, apparently Erin said that Blake is a reflection of her. If that's the case, and then Erin's a really shitty person. Like, and I never want the pleasure of meeting her ever. Like, if I ever meet her, I will. I'll be honest. I'll just tell her, like, Blake is a reflection of you. I can tell you this right now. As a bisexual person myself, you are a shit person, and I think you should die. Or at the very least, get lost or something. Like, fade into obscurity or some shit.
Yeah.
Sonic Johnson wrote, I think it spreads itself too thin. It's trying to please everyone to the point it isn't even how it started. It had a good thing going on with the color and style, but everything later on is not up to a professional level of some other shows. I hate to say it, but the show has become really amateur.
Oh yeah, definitely, Sonic.
Oh,
It has gone
definitely.
amateur. It's gone amateur to the point where they just wanna it's like the school kid trying to please the mom, kind of amateur. Like, oh yes, I want to play.
Like, I wouldn't even call it amateur because there's just so many that are 10 times.
Couldn't hear you there just
yeah.
then.
Oh, I was saying that
You're
at least
roboting.
it's kind of
You're roboting on my end.
a
You're still
Am I-
roboting.
I'm
is
fine to
with my
DJ.
internet today?
As I'm fine. Just chat. Do I sound like anime?
Yeah, I couldn't hear that at all. All I heard was anime because I.
No one's replying. Oh.
Are you putting a VPN, by the way, anime?
No, I have no VPN. I think it's just simply the fact that my Wi-Fi sucks on all my tech.
Saying, yeah, like I was kind of an insult to Rwby amateur because even amateur animation projects better than.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop in and out of the call log. What the hell is going on? Oh my god, really? My... Oh, god damn it. Hello? God damn it. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2. Hello? Okay, like...
Nothing.
Oh, there we go, and I'm still hearing robotic.
We got.
We can't hear you. Oh, someone just put down. I did have a question about the characters fighting stuff. Like for Rwby, she has a sniper rifle slash semblance, and obviously her weakness was. Yeah, that is very.
Yeah, until they remedy that with which is also interesting. Like, wow, punch so easily. Wow, how long did that take?
You guys are roboting again.
Yeah, like why? Say, I can hear you just fine, Anime.
I know it's just my end. But anyways, what was the question again? Please, Veronica. Jesus Christ. I hope this stays stable.
Like Johnson wrote.
And
Johnson wrote, I did have a question about characters.
I couldn't hear you. You cut out again.
Let me just go to this.
Cut out again, just a fan.
He cut out again, didn't he?
Yep.
You both keep cutting out.
Oh, fuck your internet. Fuck your internet, Anime.
I'm sorry. I'm not the one who bought the internet. It's not my fault. I don't pay for it.
Hold on. I did have a Okay, go into the stream right now.
Okay. Okay, so it was a question in the chat, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope. Okay, so I did have a question about the characters' fighting styles. Like for Rwby, she has a sniper rifle, slice.
You cut off there. You're getting mad.
Oh, good. Oh, for God's sake. Okay,
Oh,
so.
for fuck's
Okay,
sake.
so Sonic Johnson, an answer from me to your first question.
He's still muffled.
Did you hear that?
And he cut off.
Yep.
Oh, for a...
No,
Hey.
I had the question right. But instead of focusing on a workaround needs when disarmed, there isn't really her expertise.
I think it's just a late.
Yeah. Like a pocket knife or something. Or
Yeah.
like maybe.
I think
Yeah,
think what the
like have a
I think the misconception is that
anime cut out.
yeah, I am. I know. Fuck.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. What they should have done. Sorry. Sorry. I was gonna say what they should have done was they should have done kind of like a memento, you know, they should have done that. Like they should have done any sword, like use Pyrrha's metal to create a new shield. Rwby used Penny, done that, but they get that.
I mean, that would have been pretty good.
Yeah,
You guys keep roboting.
creepy, but good.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to your house and murder your internet, anime.
Please, dear, don't do that. My parents might think you're an intruder and try to shoot you. Because this is America. So please don't. I'd rather have a bride that's alive.
I just said.
But they would still question the fact that you're coming
Please,
in.
please, not my waifu.
Like, that would be like,
God, fucking cut again. For fuck's sake.
Like they would still question the fact that you're, entering the house kind of illegally in a sense, even if you were to have a reason, just even if you just said that you're my girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, I think the common misconception is that people think snipers are just terrible in hand-to-hand combat, but that's just a fantasy / what people think of a military thing. Like, they think military personnel who are snipers are bad at hand-to-hand. That is severely untrue. But then again, these are mercenaries, so they would only spend the skills that they are good at. Unfortunately for Rwby, she doesn't have much for anything other than maybe. I mean, oh, and to rifle, it's an anti-materia rifle,